the setups at these races is like what sets it apart from the U.S. You know, these small amateur teams show up with these box trailers like this. You see the heater is that glowing thing in the middle. That thing on the lower right is a tank of water feeding a power washer, their own power washer. You know, of course, they have all the wheels and everything. And this is just a small club team.
Come on, Dubba.
Yeah. Step it up.
Step it up.
I'm working on it.
And you know, there's beer tents and like these barbecue grills and you know, the spectators are not riders. They're not enthusiasts. They're not participants in the sport. They're pure spectators.
So why is that, do you think?
Well, cyclocross in Belgium is much less a participatory sport than it is here. Here, everyone races. If there, you know, we have 400 or 500 people at the race, and we all do it, whatever our ability. Over there, it's really for the elite. It's a sport for the elite or the developing riders.
So they don't have any beginner class kind of racing?
No.
Juniors? Really?
No. For juniors, yeah. For juniors, they've got under 15, they've got 15, 16, 17, 18, and 18 to 23, all on the day.
So I couldn't go over there and be like, I want to race.
But then they have the Masters, and the Masters start at 30 and up. So they do encourage Masters, and they encourage juniors. But if you're like a 20 or 30 something, there's not a lot for you, because if you're not a pro, they don't want you out there really. Yeah. No, that's not to say there's none. There is a category, it's called amateurs, and it's basically for the 20 and 30 somethings. And it's a great category, and anyone in the US who's, say, a Cat 3 or better would have a great time in that category. And once you reach 40, you can do the Masters. And the under 40, they still have a category of Masters. It's called Masters A, and it's 30 to 40-year-olds. And it's raced concurrently with what they call the amateurs. So while they don't have beginners and they don't encourage participation as much, it's still available. It's just not the focus the way it is here. The way they handle safety is really crazy in Europe. You know, in everything they do, skiing, highways, playgrounds, and even cyclocross. Like, they'll have this crazy drop-in that looks, the photograph makes it look mellow, but it was really very, very steep. And then for their safety, they, you know, stage a backboard right there. They don't say, let's make the trail easier. They say, well, let's make the trail really gnarly, but then we'll just be ready. And like, look at the safety crew. This is a safety crew at a local race. Another backboard and 2 different crews there. I don't, you know, ambulance crews or fire. I don't know, but.
And paying attention.
Yeah, and that backpack has got the full kit in it. And why they decided to put padding on this one tree.
As opposed to.
And someone just took the cushions off their couch and strapped it on there. But this is at the bottom of a crazy descent, and you had to funnel through there. It was pretty intimidating. Here's a run up. Now this is the 15, 16-year-olds, and you can just tell that they're good. You know, they do not look like a 15-year-old, you know, in Golden, Colorado. These guys are dialed, and they're good, and they're supple on the bike, and they're just, you know, really skillful.
Cutest girl in Belgium.
Ella and Sally were always in the pit, ready to go, and carried my bikes and my equipment, and we're just there as team support the whole time, which you really need over there because there's so much to do preparing for the race. In the hours before the race, you're working on your bikes, riding the course. It's like freezing cold and raining. You're trying to change clothes and not get cold. There's like 1,001 things to do if you want to be ready. And it really is great to have a team. This race, they didn't have the power washers, but they had these big barrels of water. And, you know, the racers show up with their buckets and their brushes and their helpers, and you can see these guys, these helpers, they're not like racing another category that day. And they're fully dedicated to their rider. And here's just another Masters racer, and this is his setup. So he's got his own van and power washer and water supply and wheels and bikes, awning, generator. And this is just an individual white shoe covers in the mud. So here's the start of our race up this great road, and I had a good start, and I think I hit here I'm second wheel when we hit the dirt. I never got a call up. And I tried every time. I tried to tell them what my credentials were, and they never would do it, but I would always try to game the system. I've done it a long time, and I know that if you just line up when they call you, you're screwed. So I would always line up before they called me, sort of on the sly. I didn't feel bad about it because I knew I deserved to be up there, but and I wasn't going to hold up anybody. I wasn't going to disrupt the race. But it's tricky. You have to be pretty crafty.
Dude, you disrupted the race.
So I got to the front, and there's this guy in this white and green kit, total Euro. And I'd seen him the day before, but he hadn't been at the front. And it turned out to be just an epic battle with me, and his name is Mario Lemens, and he just glued to my wheel. I mean, you can't even see him, but you see he's right on my wheel. Euros are way savvier about their tactics than over here, and they bring many more road tactics to cross. And, you know, hanging on a wheel and not getting dropped and not letting gaps open up ever is not something we do here in the States. Like when you recognize that maybe you're a half a tick slower than the guy in front, a lot of times we'll sort of throw in the towel and let them open up that gap and sort of just start time trialing to that placement that we seem to be headed towards. And over there, they seem to just dig and stay on the wheel no matter what, more like a criterium rider here where it's not a time trial. It's drafting and then trying to save it for the last lap. And
It's a better tactic, right?
it's much better. It's much harder though, and it takes a lot of skill. And you have to bury yourself to hang on that wheel and trust that you're going to have a chance to recover soon. There might be a descent or a pavement where you'll recover, but meanwhile, you know you have to hang on that wheel at all costs, and no matter how hard it hurts, you have to stay on that wheel. And I just kept trying to attack him to drop him. Those kinds of guys you don't want to bring to a finish sprint, and yet I could not drop him. I totally could not, and he would still pass me and come back around. And it was just a great battle, and it was really, really hard, and I was just totally on my limit. The ground was really soft, and so it was just like riding through peanut butter, and it was just a great race. And this guy Mario Lemens, I found out again after I went on the web to see who is this bastard. And it turns out he's another legend. He's won world and national titles many times. He's won elite races. He's won over 200 races, and just this year he won over 20 races.
Wow. Did you, the outcome of that?
Well, we'll get to that.
So would he never take a turn at the front then? He would let you do all the work?
Pretty much, yep.
What was
Yep.
the cost of each race that you were doing?
The entry fees are really minimal, $5, and you get half of it back when you turn in your number. The numbers are reusable. They're vinyl harder. So it's basically free to race.
But even at a race like this, the spectators pay.
So,
Right, so you pay, the spectators pay twice as much.
Yeah, I mean, even a race like this, obviously it's pretty low key. Even a race like this, spectators pay. So Mario, this is a photo of Mario. He's first wheel there. Second wheel is Mario de Klerk, Belgian champion and world champion. Third wheel is Bart Wellens. Fourth wheel is another guy, I forget, Van Oppen. And then fifth wheel is
boobs.
Aaron Boupom.
It does.
But it's Sven Van Torno. So this is in the 90s. Where's Sven Nys? He wasn't even, he's a junior at that time. Mario's, we became good friends and now I'm his Facebook pal.